Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Ashley Godwin. Here are the top stories we're following for you now at noon. Today is the last day to register to vote here in Arkansas. Coming up, what you need to know to get registered and answering some questions ahead of the election. Plus, Russia is continuing to attack civilian areas. We'll have more on their response if the U.S. intervenes. And millions of Americans are changing their holiday plans. We'll show you why later. But first, meteorologist Nathan Scott joins us now. Nathan, where's the rain? That's it. Where is it?
Well, good afternoon to you too, Ashley. Geez, just throwing me right in there.
Hello. Where's the rain?
We got some clouds out there this afternoon. A mixture of sun and clouds can be expected. Temperatures are warming up to the upper 70s to lower 80s, but Ashley wants to know, where's the rain? As you heard, well, we got a few showers in northwest Arkansas and also into Oklahoma. There's a small chance we could see maybe a stray shower out there this afternoon into this evening. Most locations will stay dry. It's on the breezy side at times, winds kicking in from the south about 10 to as high as 15 miles per hour, but there will be a better opportunity of scattered showers arriving this evening into tonight. You see them right there. And then on our Wednesday, a cold front starts to move in here from the north and northwest, and that will bring us our best chance of showers and storms that we have seen here in central Arkansas in the past 2 weeks. Today, though, temperatures topping out into the mid-80s. I'll let you know how hot it's going to get ahead of the front on your Wednesday and if there's potential of severe weather coming up.
Happening right now, today is the final day to register to vote in Arkansas, and with early voting just 2 weeks away, organizations are working to make sure every eligible voter is registered. According to the Secretary of State's office, as of last Wednesday, about 1.7 million Arkansans are registered to vote. And while that sounds like a lot, organizations like Arkansas United says it's not enough. They're hoping their efforts can help increase turnout by working to make sure everyone who calls the natural state home uses their voice.
According to the last census, we've got over 250,000 Hispanic and Latinx in the state and almost 100,000 Asian American Pacific Islanders. So that's 10% of the state.
Price says they work to make sure language barriers don't stop anyone from casting their ballot. And after you get registered, you can vote as soon as October 24th. That's less than 2 weeks away. New polling shows the economy remains a top issue for most voters. With inflation reaching its highest level in decades, Natalie Brand visited a swing district in Northern Virginia to get a sense of how voters are feeling about the economy ahead of the midterm election.
So here we have about 40, 50 pieces of salmon, which 2 years ago would cost me about $4 a portion. And now they're up to $6, maybe $7.
Tony Stafford says prices have gone up so fast he can't print menus at Ford's Fish Shack in Northern Virginia.
It's just every day or every week. Sometimes I pick up the phone to find another shortage or something that's doubled in price.
He's been in the restaurant business 27 years, and like other small business owners, inflation is top of mind as they work to build back after the pandemic.
We went through a period of time where there was literally no predicting how much our food cost was going to climb.
Angela Goodman of Famous Toastery in Ashburn considers the economy her top issue ahead of the midterms.
I employ a staff of over 30 people, and I worry about their families, and I worry about how I'm going to provide them a paycheck to put food on their family's table.
It's also a driving factor for Andrew Yateman and Jack Rosenquist, two friends catching up over a lunch that now costs more.
My wife and I are looking at retirement and trying to figure out how to do it in this economy, and it's challenging.
Which party do you believe is better to handle the economy?
Republican.
You can't blame it all on the Biden administration.
Virginia resident Roland Dedman is also worried about rising costs.
With Medicare, I'm paying for 2 prescriptions. It's $300 a month.
He thinks the newly passed Inflation Reduction Act could eventually lower his health bills and wants Democrats to stay in control.
There are a lot of things I don't like on the left, but there's more that I don't like on the absolute ultra-right.
The last 8 to 12 years of election cycles, it has just been the blame game, and I don't appreciate any of that.
Goodman's restaurant sits in a battleground district. She wants to hear more specifics from the candidates.
I don't think that they have enough window into the real crisis out there, especially in this county, of people who can't afford to put food on their own table.
She hopes that changes with less than a month until Election Day. Natalie Brand, Loudoun County, Virginia.
And remember, we're less than a month away from the general election. And as candidates look to find an edge any way they can, one of our viewers asked if they're allowed to pay notable people to endorse them. Casey Decker with our Verified team has the answer.
As candidates make their final push before the midterm elections, you may start seeing more of them touting endorsements from celebrities or notable organizations. That led Verified viewer Jack to wonder whether politicians might simply be paying those folks to endorse them. So let's verify. Is it legal for political candidates to pay for endorsements? Our sources are the Federal Election Commission and the Federal Election Campaign Act. According to the FEC, there is no law banning candidates from paying for endorsements. A spokesperson told Verify, quote, "No provisions in the FEC rules specifically address paid endorsements of federal candidates. But candidates are legally required to disclose such payments. The Federal Election Campaign Act requires campaigns for federal office to file regular reports on where their money comes from and where it goes. That report has to include the name and address of any person to whom an expenditure in excess of $200 is made, together with the date, amount, and purpose of such expenditure. So paying for an endorsement isn't illegal, but trying to hide that payment could get you in trouble. A notable example, a former Iowa state senator named Kent Sorensen. According to court records in 2012, he took money in exchange for endorsements for Republican candidates for president. He was charged with willfully causing false expenditure reports and obstruction of justice. He pleaded guilty and received a 15-month prison sentence. But it was for the cover-up, not the payments themselves. So we can verify, yes, it is legal for federal candidates to pay for endorsements, but they are legally required to disclose those payments. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
And just a few days ago, Walmart and Sam's Club wrapped up their first ever student summit for historically black colleges and universities. The retailers hosted dozens of students from 19 HBCUs for professional development workshops and the Black Business Expo. Throughout the week, the students participated in professional development workshops to enhance their careers.
I learned about my personal brand and how I market myself. I also learned inside the interview sessions, how to ace an interview. I love the experience and I love the environment here and the culture here. And I think this is somewhere I would thrive and grow.
The retailers hosted this summit to showcase opportunities at Walmart and Sam's Club and to fill roles for next year's internships. For the second time in recent weeks, a jury awards a multi-million-dollar judgment after highway construction interfered with a property owner. A Pulaski County Circuit Court jury is awarding $2.6 million to Trinity Assembly of God for the value of church property taken for a road construction project in West Little Rock. The church argued that its property value declined by 25% after it lost 9 parking spaces to the construction project along Highway 10. And today is the groundbreaking for Little Rock's Whataburger. This morning, the Little Rock Regional Chamber was there for the event on Chenal Parkway, just down the road from Costco. The Whataburger is expected to bring in more than 100 jobs to the city and should open early next year. Continuing our coverage on the war in Ukraine, another barrage of Russian missiles has laid waste to more Ukrainian communities, killing at least 19 people and injuring more than 100. In Kiev, residents scrambled to bomb shelters and subways to avoid the continued bombardment. The onslaught is the largest Russian attack on Ukraine since the early days of the nearly 8-month war. Russian officials say assistance from the U.S. will only extend the war and make it more painful for Ukraine. And in the latest plan to fight climate change, New Zealand is taking a unique approach. The government is looking to tax burps from cows and other animals, which emit harmful greenhouse gases. Cows belch methane gas, which scientists say can be 80 times more damaging to the environment than carbon dioxide. About half of New Zealand's greenhouse gas emissions coming from livestock, but critics argue the world-first proposal ignores measures many farms are already using to counter greenhouse gases.
This initiative actually sends the wrong signals to the wrong sector and isn't sufficient to address the climate emergency that we're in.
This plan includes incentives for farmers to reduce emissions through feed additives like a milk formula blended with kombucha, a probiotic experts say reduces burping. And the damage from Hurricane Ian is estimated to be in the hundreds of billions, but a lot of Floridians don't have flood insurance. A look at the higher than average rates and the damage after the break. Nathan?
And in my extended forecast, I'm watching two cold fronts head in our direction. The first front arrives tomorrow, will bring us around in showers and storms. The second front, a better chance of rain and much cooler temperatures. I'll have those details coming up.